Hello, everybody. We're here, week 5. I've made a move. I'm really excited to talk about it. I'm actually planning to make some more trades this week to set in a new team for the following weeks up till playoffs. But this is the first domino here, and I did it because I thought this mon had a pretty good matchup into this team, and I just wanted to lock it in already. Cresselia, Diana. Yeah, Diana has got really good bulk, HP defense and special defense. It's a little bit lacking in this offensive department. I think 75 base special attack. It's not great, but it's so bulky it can get off a lot of calm minds. It's got recovery moves in Moonlight and I think Lunar Blessing. And it's just a really tough Pokemon to deal with if you don't have like a really strong, super effective into it. So I thought it would be nice to get it. I had to let go of Empoleon, Neptune, to make the room for it. Not that I thought Neptune was a bad Pokemon, but I had to make room to make all my other wanted pickups better. I didn't feel like I was going to use any of them in this matchup. Maybe I could have hit one, but we'll save that for later, the discussion of it. But I thought I was kind of fine with what I have here. So I guess I'll go top down and explain the sets. Landorus, Life Orb, Sheer Force. I mean, that's like as natural as breathing. But I've got Earth Power, Psychic, Sledge Wave. That hits pretty much everything on the team for super effective or neutral. U-turn is just in case I like want to generate some momentum because I don't have like a great in. I think a Pokemon like Terapagos, if it hasn't taken chip yet, is gonna take these moves like really well, and it also has Ice Beam, so I don't really want to like leave Lando in against that, but if I can U-turn and get the chip off, I might be able to 2-hit KO it. So I'd be in a good spot, at least catch it on a switch in later. In any case, I think that Lando is just solid. I mean, solid as it always is. We don't have completely max speed. We only need one speed less than max to outspeed base 100s, i.e. Manaphy. I don't do like a tremendous amount to Manaphy. It's like about I think it's just it's a little over half maybe if it's offensive. Which I mean I could 2-hit KO it. But like the defensive Manaphy's I think can get past that, and I think that I don't have a great matchup into Manaphy anyway with Vulcan, so maybe it doesn't matter that much, but in any case, the special attack I think is pretty self-explanatory. The 8 Spadef, I mean, because you got to put it somewhere, right? Cinderace. We have a pretty odd spread here. I think so. I hit 333 speed, which is I think 2 points faster than Landorus, which is in case Noivern is attempting to speed creep my Landorus, or if there's maybe like a slow Scarfer, slow booster energy, Great Tusk, or I mean I don't actually. I take that back. That doesn't make sense. Why would you run low speed and still try to get those booster speed off? That doesn't make. Never mind. Anyway, this Cinderace I think has just enough attack to 2-hit KO a Scream Tail with Gunk Shot, and then the rest is in HP to hopefully survive some hits better. I do have Heavy Duty Boots Court Change, just in case we see something like Rocks, Metagross, something like... do you have a Spiker? Cannot recall. Sorry. But yeah, Pyro Ball U-turn is just that's just common standard Cinderace. I think those moves are gonna come pretty much every week. Then we have Vesta, or Ogerpon Wellspring. I have here a set. Basically, it's designed that if I get a Play Rough, I'm faster than Noivern, and Play Rough is gonna kill usually. If I get an SD, Ivy Cudgel plus Play Rough coverage kind of slams this team. And Trailblaze is good into Manaphy as well. Which I think it's usually a 2-hit KO. Might depend on the Manaphy set though, and like if Acid Armor comes or something like that. I figured that Wellspring is going to scare Manaphy out most of the time anyway, so I don't really care about being... How should I say? I don't really care about being perfectly capable of destroying the Manaphy, because I just don't think Manaphy is going to stay in usually. The next Pokemon we have is Mars, and this is a Dragon Dance Weakness Policy Hydreigon. I know, right? Like, not special? Why? I don't know. I figured that we'd be better into Skeledirge this way. Skeledirge can run enough special defense to stop Dark Pulse from killing, and then I'm going to get smashed by Alluring Voice. This time I'm saying no, I'm going to Throat Chop, and you're not going to get your Alluring Voice off. Plus, with a DD, we're faster than Noivern. Endure plus Weakness Policy. If we can get that against, like, Scream Tail or against Noivern, we're either going to KO or put them in KO range, easy KO range of other Pokemon on my team. I think this could be pretty solid. Breaking Swipe is enough, I believe, at +1 to kill a Noivern, which is perfect. I mean, granted, we don't necessarily want to stay in if we're not +1 because we're slower. If we don't get the Dragon Dance off. But yeah, I mean, as for other Dragon type moves, Hydreigon does not get Dragon Claw, so like obviously, I think I probably would have used that instead of Breaking Swipe if I had the option, but I don't have the option. So the other physical moves are Dragon Rush, which is 100 base power but only 75% accuracy, which I'm not trying to risk the game on that. And then Outrage, which I don't want to necessarily lock myself into because Scream Tail is such an easy revenge killer if I do. So Breaking Swipe is what I had to do, and I'm gonna need, you know, since I need the +1 speed anyway, it being enough to take out the Noivern is really all I need it for. I'm throat chopping everything else. Diana, I mean, just doing the fat Diana thing. If Great Tusk comes, I'm just gonna use it as setup fodder. Shadow Ball is to hit Skeledirge and to hit Scream Tail. Skeledirge can, if it's Spadef invested, maybe not even if it's just HP invested, it can kind of slack off through the Shadow Balls, but Shadow Ball's got a chance to drop Spadef. So I might be able to force switches with it at least, so I can get damage to other things. With enough Calm Minds, I can take on Scream Tail pretty easily, like 2-hit KO. With Shadow Ball, I think I need like 3 or 4 Calm Minds. But the problem is that Scream Tail gets Encore and is faster than Cresselia, so if it switches in on me going for Calm Mind, it's just gonna Encore and I'm gonna be stuck Calm Minding, which then I can't really do anything. So I do have to be careful about allowing that. And then finally I've got Florges, who's got the Choice Scarf. I believe we're faster than Noivern. I mean, pretty much everything on this team, speed-wise, is just trying to be faster than Noivern. We're max special attack, so that we can kill a Great Tusk, I believe, even if it has an Assault Vest. And yeah, hopefully this will be really good. I like Trick as well, um, just as an option to hit like a Manaphy that's setting up, a Skeledirge that's being really annoying. Maybe Screamtail would be the absolute best mon to hit. And then we have, for this week and this week only, I've changed my Terra Captain from Driftblim to Florges. We have Terra Fairy, Fire, and Ground as options, and I like Ground because it hits everything that Fire hits, and then some. Particularly, I just want to be able to hit Metagross. I don't think we'll kill usually, but we'll have some pretty good damage into it at least. Definitely puts it in range of like Hydreigon, Throat Chop, possibly Cresselia, Shadow Ball, depends on the set, or Ogerpon, be a good one to finish off. Pretty much everything on the team. And yeah, that's what we've got. I always say that I think we're going to do pretty well because I always try hard to do pretty well. But I'm not going to say that anymore because I feel like I've lost too many games to be saying that. Okay, here we are. So, Great Tusk did not come, which I kind of figured it wouldn't to some extent, because it doesn't have a great matchup into my team. Like it wants to run like 5 or 6 moves to be able to deal with everything. Like it needs Ice Spinner for Lando, it needs Knockoff for Cress, it needs like Heavy Slam or something for Florges, and that's before we're talking about stabs. That's before we're talking about Rapid Spin, Bulk Up, whatever. So I definitely see why it didn't come. I probably could have geared my team a little bit to not cater so much for, say, Great Tusk. Like I could have run especially defensive Cresselia so that I would handle like things like Terapagos better with it. That being said, it doesn't really matter. The mon that I wasn't anticipating was Overquill. I didn't think too much about that one. I mean, I kind of just assume that Landorus will handle it as long as it's not boosting its speed with like Swift Swim or something. Whoops. But it's basically it. Let's just get into the game. I believe I'm going to lead Landorus here because I think that if you lead something like Metagross or like, say, Overquill to get up the spikes, you're just going to eat an Earth Power and your switch in is exactly Arboliva. So, yeah. Oh, also no Noivern, which is interesting, to say the least. He actually leads Terapagos, but I'm totally fine with this because unless this is Scarf Ice Beam, I can get my U-turn off here. Maybe I should have considered that, but I was like, I just don't really see Scarf Ice Beam being an option, especially when like Cresselia is there to just kind of use you as setup fodder. But I go for it. This does a like it's hard to tell because it's such a low roll. That like what the investment is. It's probably not max HP, max defense. It could be max HP, it could be no investment. The Terapagos heals using leftovers, so this is kind of an interesting like bit of information to get early on. Usually Terapagos is heavy duty boots, so you can switch in after hazards and still have your Terra Shell ability available. But this leftovers instead is trying to heal yourself back up to your Terra Shell being allowed. So this indicates to me that it's some sort of like uh, how do I want to put it? Like a utility, like less of a revenge killer type and more of like a utility setup type. So I'm thinking either it's Calm Mind, maybe Rock Polish, but like probably Calm Mind with like Protect, maybe to help itself get back up to full, or it's like Toxic, which is like a fat version of Terapagos, like stall almost. Either way, I want to go to Florges and Trick. If he switches to anything like basically other than Metagross or like Overquill, I'm kind of okay with tricking anything. I mean, or maybe if it's like a uh, Assault Vest Arboliva, I don't know if I necessarily want that, but managed to get it off on the Terapagos, who goes for Toxic. There you go. So now it's locked into Toxic. Instead of I don't necessarily want to let a bunch of my Pokemon get Toxic, so I'm just gonna stay in and go for Moonblasts. Um, if I get enough chip on the Terapagos, I'm kind of fine with that. I go for another Moonblast because I didn't think he would. I thought he would take one more turn to switch to Metagross. But he does. He does switch. I get a decent chunk into it. I go for Terra Ground and get my Terra Blast off. Shookaberry makes it live it quite easily. It actually would have, I think, lived it either way. It goes for Heavy Slam, crit, and kills. I don't think the crit mattered. I'll go to Ogre Palm because that is enough, usually enough to kill with Ivy Cudgel. So I just go for it. Ivy Cudgel the Arboliva. And I don't necessarily have a great move to hit Arboliva. It would be kind of nice if I had U-turn or something like that, but it's just I just didn't necessarily think too hard about beating that with Ogerpon anyway. Goes for Terra Grass and tries to Leech Seed and misses. Now I'm just gonna Calm Mind again because Leech Seed, it's not that big a deal, and if I can get to the point where I'm breaking the sub, I'm doing like 50%, maybe, then I can probably beat the Arboliva 1v1, but actually he switches to Terapagos. I'm just going to take the kill on this. I know that Toxic might be coming, but I figured that I don't really have another switch in, so I'll just allow this to be Toxic. Potentially kill. He goes to Overquill on my Psychic, which is good. Granted, I didn't have another move to hit, and what was I going to go? Go for Shadow Ball on the Terapagos. I don't think that made a lot of sense, so I switched to Hydreigon. I get Toxic. This Choice Scarf Toxic is so annoying. I did calc to see if I would live Ice Beam, and I did. Goes to Screamtail. I'm going to switch to Cresselia to not take a Dazzling Gleam. Wish up in the air. I figured that it was probably going to go to Metagross, so I just decided to get my my Calm Mind because I didn't think I was going to kill with Shadow Ball. I just go for 2 Shadow Balls to put it low. I am going to die to Toxic. But now I can go to Lando, and Lando has like pretty much free reign here. Maybe like on every revenge kill I should have went to Lando. I don't know. Did I go to Lando? What did I do with Florges? Cannot remember. I was intending for that to loop, by the way, though. But I guess we're just listening to this now. Goes to Screamtail, and I scout for Ice Beam because I don't want to lose the game to just like getting Ice Beamed there. I go for Gunk Shot and miss, which kind of matters. Like as the course of this game goes, if I hit this, I think I potentially could have made a different play later on, but I miss. It doesn't matter a ton, I don't think. I don't know. That U-turn, I didn't do quite as much damage as I was expecting, so I was thinking, this is probably a little bit defensive. Goes for Rain Dance. Rain Dance is really interesting because Overquill gets Swift Swim, so now it can come in and try to sweep the team here, and really Hydreigon's the only thing keeping me from getting swept by like Liquidation plus Crunch plus Gunk Shot. I'm not sure if Hydreigon would live a Gunk Shot. Maybe it depends on the EVs. I go for Ivy Cudgel because I do not want to allow Overquill to switch in. But they go for U-turn, and I was like, uh-oh. But they go to Arvaliva instead of Overquill. Kind of okay with that. I go for Substitute. I go for Throat Chop. I get Giga Drained. I go for another Throat Chop. Just trying to get all the chip that I can on Arbaliva. But he goes to Screamtail instead. Goes to Overquill. I go for Gunk Shot because I don't want to allow Screamtail to stay in. I don't want to allow Manaphy to switch in. He actually goes to Overquill. Just a really smart play. Goes for Crunch. And I U-turn. This is where I was like, man, I wish I had like Will-O-Wisp as an option. But I just U-turn into Ogerpon because I know that the rain is running out and I'm strong enough to one-shot this. And I can stop Manaphy from coming in to set up the rain again. Of course, I hit into the Arbaliva. This is where, again, I wish I had a move to hit it. He goes for Giga Drain. And I'm down to like no HP, so I'm decided I'm just going to Throat Chop. And I die to a Rocky Helmet. And then he goes for Strength Sap, and it fails because I died to the Rocky Helmet. Which is like really fortunate for me, because this Arbaliva going back to like full HP would have been really annoying. I definitely would have had to go to Cinderace and risk a Pyro Ball. Which, I mean, I guess is not the worst thing in the world, but now I kind of get a better pick of choices, mostly between Lando and Cinderace. But I'm really curious why he didn't go for Strength Sap on me earlier. Like, go for Strength Sap instead of switching to Screamtail. I'm not sure. Maybe... I'm not sure. Maybe it had to do with, like, rain turns. I don't know. Wanted to get to Overquill sooner. It's probably fair. But I do go to Cinderace anyway, because I figure that I'd rather be clicking Pyro Ball here. I think it does a lot of damage to pretty much everything. I guess Lando could have been good as well. Sludge Wave into this, and then like you can't really switch to anything either. Well, the problem is those if I kill this, Screamtail comes in and gets an Ice Beam off for free. And I don't necessarily want to take that. Whereas Cinderace coming in, if I kill the Arbaliva with Cinderace, Screamtail doesn't necessarily come in and do that. So I go for Pyro Ball. There's not really any reason not to. If Manaphy comes in, I can Gunk Shot and still get my Libero boost. But I do hit and I burn the Screamtail. The burn, I don't believe matters that much. I go for another Pyro Ball. I'm getting my HP back from the Seed Sower. So I go for U-turn here because I don't believe Gunk Shot kills. And I don't necessarily want the Manaphy to go for like Scald or like basically any water move. The problem here though is if he goes for Rain Dance, which I mean I feel like pretty obviously he is going to, then Overquill now outspeeds and probably kills all of my Mons. And I was thinking to myself, oh man, I think I messed up. Um, I probably, against this Arboliva, you know, I mean, the issue is, like, I can't kill Screamtail with Landorus because the fast Ice Beam is too bad for me. I probably could have pivoted my Cinderace to Ogerpon instead of like killing off the Screamtail with it to avoid this situation. Um, yeah, because now I could go for Trailblaze, right? And I get my +1 boost. But I'm not faster than most Overquill in the rain, and I imagine he's probably faster than like some Scarf version of something on my team. So that would be probably faster than this Ogerpon. He goes for Crunch, and I live it, and I Ivy Cudgel and kill him. So here's the deal. He's Life Orb Overquill. If he's Adamant Life Orb Overquill, he has a 93% roll to kill my particular Ogerpon at the HP that it was at. He just could not get the lowest possible roll, and he did. And now I basically win the game here. I mean, I go for Play Rough, primarily because I didn't want to like give a substitute or anything like that for free, but he gets his Strength Sap off. I go for Swords Dance. He substitutes. I Ivy Cudgel. I get Giga Drained out, and now I can just go to Lando and win the game. I know for sure he's not that he's not Assault Vest, so he usually does not live this. I crit. I don't think that mattered. In any case, I think two or three Sludge Waves would have killed him, especially before the Giga Drains would kill me. I guess we can touch back on this Overquill situation. So, for him to have gone for the 93% roll suggests to me that his poison move of choice was Gunk Shot. Because otherwise you would go for Poison Jab, right? That's a 100% chance to kill. Then Cinderace is going to die to Liquidation, and then so is Lando. If he was Poison Jab instead of Gunk Shot, I think he would win this game 100%. I don't know if he needed Gunk Shot in particular for something on my team. Maybe there was a Pokemon that died or got 2 KO'd by Gunk Shot, but not by Poison Jab. I don't know if that wasn't the case though. I really wonder if Poison Jab could have been the play there. I mean, in this situation, it definitely would have been. But as for me, yeah, I like at this point, I really have no win con. I kind of have to play on his, not on his choke per se, but like on him, not clicking the right move or missing Gunk Shot if he has it. I think in this situation, he did click the right move for what he had. Like 93% is better than 80%. You give yourself more chances to win the game, but it's not 100%, and I happen to get very lucky and get this kill. Maybe this is justice for me losing that first game of the season, which I will never get over it. But yeah, like that was so unfortunate for my opponent. For me, it was very fortunate. I probably could have played for Diff here, thinking about it now. I probably could have went to Landorus and Sludge Wave once or twice would have killed, and I don't have to worry about Giga Drain killing me. I guess I was a little bit worried maybe about a substitute, but then again I could just spam this and then win the game. But I figured like it was probably a more consistent win for me if I just sack Ogerpon here, and I don't want to choke after I was gifted that. I'm not trying to be like really greedy about this. Unfortunately, I think I'm still only at like a neutral diff. I think my two losses were by so much more than my wins that I am at a plus minus 0. Um, so maybe I should have played a little more aggressive to try to get into the positive diff column, but I'm hoping I'm just gonna get in based on record. And I played some tough opponents already. Um, that like I just hope the second half of my schedule isn't so tough. But in any case, I'm definitely making some mogul moves into week 2 to show a new and improved, hopefully, version of this team for the future here. You can hear more about that in the week 5 review that we're about to do or about to upload. That will show the trades that happened this week, because there were a lot of them. But all right, good luck to my opponent, who's probably still got a pretty good shot to playoffs, even though they have a losing record right now. They have a really good diff, and they have a really good team, and so they will. I feel like they will get in. But yeah, as for everybody else, good luck to you as well. Unless you play me, of course.